Is winning really the most important thing? If you look at Light McQueen at the beginning of Cars, we can see that he's selfish and cares only about victory. Pixar does not begin the story by telling us about McQueen's past. Instead, the movie opens with the final race of the Piston Cup Championship. McQueen is introduced as a talented rookie competing against the legendary racer, the King, and his longtime rival, Chick Hicks. During the race, McQueen thinks only about himself. He ignores the advice of his pet crew, which eventually causes problems for him. Even after his tires begin to fail, he refuses to listen to anyone. His only goal is to win, regardless of the consequences. Because the race ends in a three-way tie, the judges decide to hold one final race in California to determine the true champion. Even at this point, McQueen continues to behave arrogantly. When Chick Hicks challenges him and boasts about reaching California first, McQueen immediately takes the bait because he is obsessed with proving that he is the best. On the way to California, McQueen makes a careless mistake. He insists that his transport truck, Mac, keep driving through the night without stopping. As a result, an accident occurs and McQueen is accidentally separated from Mac. Lost and confused, he ends up in the small town of Radiator Springs. The contrast between McQueen and Radiator Springs is one of the most important parts of the film. Radiator Springs is peaceful and quiet, the streets are calm, and the residents enjoy simple life. McQueen, on the other hand, drives like a storm. He drives recklessly, creates chaos, disturbs the town, and destroys the main road. Through this scene, the filmmakers highlight the difference between McQueen's fast style and the peaceful atmosphere of Radiator Springs. Eventually, McQueen is caught by the local police and brought before the town court, where we meet Doc Hanson. At first, Doc wants McQueen to leave as soon as possible, but townspeople decide that he must repair the damaged road before he can go anywhere. McQueen's attitude toward the town is terrible. He openly says that the residents are stupid and that spending time with them is making him stupid as well. When he begins repairing the road, he does a terrible job because he only wants to finish as quickly as possible. The quality of work does not matter to him. Hudson then offers McQueen a challenge. If McQueen can beat him in a race, he will be free to leave. If he loses, he must continue repairing the road. Confident in his abilities, McQueen accepts immediately. However, he loses because he has no experience driving on dirt roads. This moment becomes a turning point in his character. For the first time, he faces a challenge that he can overcome through talent alone. He becomes determined to master the difficult turn that defeated him. Even after finishing the road, he continues practicing, but success does not come easily. As McQueen spends more time in Radiator Springs, he forms friendships with the residents, especially Matter. Through all these scenes, he discovers what Doc Hanson was once the most Hudson Hornet, a three-time Piston Cup champion. Doc eventually shares his story. He won the Piston Cup 3 times in a row, but after a serious crash, the racing world moved on without him. When he returned, he discovered he had been replaced by a young rookie. The experience left him bitter and disappointed. Over time, McQueen helps Doc rediscover his love for racing. For a brief moment, Doc returns to the track and experiences the joy he once felt. However, seeing McQueen also reminds him of the painful memories of his own career and the world that abandoned him. Meanwhile, McQueen begins to appreciate the beauty of Radiator Springs. He discovers the value of friendship, community, and a slower piece of life. Or perhaps the first time in his life he experienced happiness that has nothing to do with winning races. Unfortunately, his time in Rider Springs comes to an end. The media discovers his location and his racing team arrives to take him to California. Although the film never directly explains why Doc contacts them, it is clear that he believes McQueen belongs on the racetrack rather than hiding in a small town. In the final race, McQueen is no longer the same person. The 4 days he spent in Radiator Springs have changed him. He realizes that winning is not the only thing that matters. At first, he struggles to focus on the race because his priorities have changed. However, with the support of his new friends, he finds the motivation to race once again. The most important moment comes near the finish line. Instead of chasing victory, McQueen stops to help the king, who was crushed during the race. He pushes him across the finish line so that the veteran racer can complete his final race. At that moment, McQueen finally understands the film's central message. Winning is not everything. Friendship, respect, helping others are more important than any trophy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel.